Hi folks, Mike Stoffergen with Showstopper Sequences here. I thought I would take a minute to show you how you can add submodels to any given prop. As you know, I'm pretty bad about doing submodels. If I see something cool, I will add it to the model that I use. And sometimes you might be importing one of our sequences and go, I don't have that model there. Well, what do I do? Well, believe it or not, with every download with our sequence, we actually include the current model that we're using. If you will go to your zip file, there's these files, you'll find them there. I've got them in a subdirectory called zip file add-ins. But in your zip file, you'll see a subdirectory called models. And if you will click there, you will see every model that we have in some way modified. Now, we won't change the wiring diagram as it comes from the Coro manufacturer, but if I see a cool submodel, I will add it to the model, and if I do that, I'm going to add it into this directory, and then it's included with your zip file. So if you see that you don't have a submodel that's being used in a sequence, all you've got to do is unzip the zip file, go to the model subdirectory, and then you can actually import from that. Now let me show you how that works. All right, let me get back to my X-Lights. And what I'm going to do is I'm in the Layout tab. I'm going to select the prop that I'm going to add submodels to. And I'm going to go down here to the submodels directory. I'll click on that, and it brings up the submodels. And you'll see down here in the lower left-hand corner, there is an import feature. Okay, and you'll see when I click on that, it calls up import submodels from a model, import submodels from a file, or import custom model overlay. The first one is where you import it from a model that is already in your layout. The second one is a file, and that's the one where we're going to be looking at. So let me click on that. I'm going to go to the submodels, and I'm going to go to my zip file add-ins, go to my models directory, come down here where the Showstopper spinner is, and I'm going to open that up. And you'll see here I get a listing of all the submodels that are included there. All right, so I'm going to right-click this, and I'm going to deselect all, and then you'll see it's cleared. And then what you can do is you can go through and you can pick the submodels that you want to import. Now, I deleted the first bunch of submodels on that Showstopper spinner. So you just click the ones you want, and you tell it OK. Now, you're not going to see any difference over here. But what you got to do is scroll all the way down. The new ones are added down at the bottom of the list. These have a specific order, so what I'll do is I'll highlight them, and I can actually drag them to the top of the list just by holding down the left key, scrolling up. With all those submodels, it takes a minute to get to the top, but I can scroll up to the top there, and once I get there, I'll just insert them there. Okay, and they are in position. You'll see there the ones that I just selected and imported are right there. Okay, so that's how you add a submodels to any existing model that you may have. Now, let me show you a different thing that you can do. Let me tell that OK. I'll go ahead and save it. I'm going to change my directory here to where I get, I've already got some things laid out. Go to my traditional layout. I'm going to select that. Okay, and this is our stored layout. Now, I'm going to import. I'll go down here and I'll drag that in. And when I import, I'm going to go back to my zip file add-ins. Go to my models. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring in another Showstopper spinner. And asked me if I wanted to add some to existing models. Since I'm going to delete that, I did not add those in. Okay, so now I've got that right there. So I can take this, and if I right click on it, you'll see here one of the options that you have is to replace a model with this model. All right, so if I replace that model, let me scroll down here to where I will find it. I'm going to replace the spinner with a spinner, and it will ask me if it's okay. Now, it'll say, do you want to replace the model and with the same start channel? Since the node numbers are exactly the same, I will tell it yes. If you have different node numbers, particularly if there's more, tell it no. But I'm going to tell it yes, and it's just going to replace that. When I tell it that, it asks me if I want to merge the submodels. I'm going to say no because I know they're duplicate, but that is an option that you have. If you want to merge them, you'll get both sets of the submodels. But in this instance, I'm just going to tell it no. Now you'll see that the Showstopper spinner went away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize that. Kind of compare it to the others to make sure that the sizing is about right. And then I'm going to move it back over where the other one was. All right, so that's how you can replace a model and insert it into your system. Again, if you have variations in the number of pixels, particularly if the model you're importing has more pixels, you definitely don't want to insert it because you could potentially create some overlap problems depending on how you have your X-Lights set up. If you've got it set up to where it's self-adjusting, it won't be much of an issue. But if you've done things like assign the numbers manually, you could potentially cause some real issues. Okay, so that is the two things that I wanted to show you today. Hope you find that helpful, and thanks for watching.